Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Teaching Learning with Poornima once again. And today, let us learn about a very beautiful and inspirational story, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read, written by Sudha Murthy. So let us begin. First of all, let me tell you some important points about the chapter, which will help you understand the story. The story, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read, is written by Sudha Murthy, as I have already told you, and she is a new age writer. She belongs to our age, present age. She is known as a businesswoman. She has co-founded an IT company, Infosys, along with her husband, Narayan Murthy. This is a very touching, it means emotional and autobiographical story about love, learning, and determination. Determination means strong willpower because it is based on an important episode in her own life, in the life of Sudha Murthy. It highlights the themes of determination, the power of determination, strong willpower, importance of education, how education is important in everybody's life, respect and love among relations. Every relation needs respect and love, whether it is relation between parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, and even teachers and students. It also highlights joy of self-reliance. Self-reliance means self-dependence, independence, and how you can achieve this self-reliance through education. If you are educated, you are independent. You don't need to depend on other people. This story teaches a very important lesson. It gives a very important message that education and self-reliance is very important because self-reliance and education provides confidence, joy, and freedom. If you are dependent on yourself, then you are free. If you are dependent on others, you are not free. And if you are not free, you cannot have joy. You can also not have confidence because education only gives you confidence and self-reliance, independence gives you joy. Education is that which liberates. It makes you free. And for learning, for getting education, there should not be any age bar. If for any reason a person could not get education in his or her childhood, then the person should get the opportunity or should be allowed to get education at any age. It also stresses, gives importance that teacher deserves respect. A teacher should be given respect whatever the age of the teacher is, whatever is the gender. Whether the teacher is small or a grown-up person, whether the teacher is female or male, teachers should be given respect. The style of the story is narrative. Narrative means it is narrated as a story. All the events and incidents are narrated one by one with a flow. That style is called narrative. Here also very important phase of the narrator's life is narrated very beautifully. That is why the style of the story is narrative. It is also autobiographical because it is a very beautiful part of a narrator's life. In her childhood, she taught her grandmother how to read and write. It is also realistic because such things can happen in everybody's life, in any family. The tone of the story is emotional because of the bond of grandmother and the granddaughter. It is also inspiring because it inspires everyone to get education, to help the people who are not able to get education in their childhood. The characters of the story are very strong and impactful. The narrator, Sudha Murthy, and her grandmother are realistic because they can be found in any family. They are very simple to the core, simple human beings. They can also inspire because of their virtues, simple lifestyle, and great mental being. Now let me tell you the detailed summary of the story. This story is set in the village of Karnataka. It means it took place. The setting of the story is a village of Karnataka, where the narrator Sudha Murthy used to live. When this incident took place, she was just a young girl of 12 years. She used to live with her grandmother, Krishnakka, and she used to call her fondly with love, Avva. Her grandmother was very fond of listening to stories. She used to like to listen to the stories. Who used to tell her the story? Obviously, her granddaughter Sudha Murthy. And there was a very popular Kannada novel, Kashi Yatre, getting published in a weekly newspaper. It was written by a Kannada writer, Triveni. Triveni was very popular there because she knew how to touch the heart of common people. She had a very convincing style. Convincing style means whatever she said, people used to believe, people used to rely. And her characters were very simple and relatable. People used to relate with those characters. They used to see themselves in those characters and they used to see their story in the character's story. That is how Triveni was very popular among the people. Those days, the novel Kashi Yatre used to be published in a weekly newspaper, Karmavira. These names you should know. Kashi Yatre, name of the novel; Karmavira, name of the weekly newspaper. It used to be published in series. Series means parts. Some part of the story one week and the next part of the story next week, and that is how it used to get published in series, like serials. Those days, the transport facilities were not good, and due to lack of transport facilities, the newspaper used to come one day late. It used to come on Wednesday, and grandmother used to wait eagerly for the newspaper. Why? Because she wanted to know what will happen next. आगे क्या होने वाला है. अगर आप लोग भी सीरियल्स देखते हैं तो आप लोगों को भी एक्साइटमेंट जरूर होता होगा कि आगे क्या होगा. That is why that day she used to leave all her work and she used to wait for the newspaper. And as and when the newspaper comes, she used to ask her granddaughter Sudha Murthy to read the story. And she used to listen to the story with great attention so that she can find out what happened next. The narrator used to read aloud the published part every week. The novel Kashiyatre was about an old woman. Now, this is the story of the novel Kashiyatre. Please do not get confused with this old woman thinking as Sudha Murthy's grandmother. This old woman is a character of Kashiyatre. She collected money all her life because she wanted to visit Kashi. She wanted to worship Lord Vishesara in Kashi. That is why she collected money after lot of hard work. But at the end, she gave all her money to an orphan girl who does not have a family for her marriage so that she can get married. And this lady could not go to Kashi. By that time, story had not unfolded to the end, and that is why Sudhamurthi's grandmother wanted to know whether this old woman will be able to go to Kashi or not, whether she will be able to fulfill her desire or not. One day, the narrator went out of the village to another village for attending a family wedding and could not come back before a week. You know, the weddings, they are an affair of around 4-5 days. And those days, it used to take a week at least. That is why she went there, but she could not come back before a week. So during her absence, the newspaper came and the grandmother could not read the story. What happened next? And she was so anxious to read the story that she felt very bad because she could not know what happened next in the story. She could not read it. She rubbed her hands desperately over the picture but by rubbing on the picture, she could not understand the story. Nobody can. For understanding the story, you have to read it. And for reading the story, you should know how to read it. But she was illiterate and she was unable to know the next part of the story. She could not read it herself. She was deeply moved, shaken, sad, broken, because she wanted to know the story and she felt helpless. This feeling of helplessness has made her take a decision, the most important decision of her life. What was the decision? To learn how to read and write. At that time, she was a woman of 62 years old, but she decided that she will learn how to read and write so that she doesn't have to depend on her granddaughter Sudha Murthy to read to know the story. When the narrator returned after a week from the wedding, grandmother narrated her helplessness. At night, she called Sudha and she informed her that now I will learn how to read and write Kannada language. This shows a strong character of this grandmother who knows what she can do, and she is very strong to stick to her decision. She also told her that in her childhood her mother died. She was a small child when her mother died. Her father didn't have time to look after her. He was very busy in her business, and that is why her father remarried. Being a busy man, he could not pay attention to her education. Her father did not even think that the child should get education. And that time, education was not considered important for girls. This is an important social issue of that time. After marriage and having children and grandchildren, this grandmother found happiness in only looking after her children and grandchildren. She also did not think about her education. Her parents did not think about her education. She also forgot about her education because she got busy in bringing up her children and her grandchildren. She used to take a lot of joy in feeding them, giving food to her children and grandchildren. And that is how education was ignored by everyone. And now, till date, she is uneducated, she is illiterate. Now she has decided to change her fate. That night, her grandmother humbly requested her, means her granddaughter Sudha Murthy, to become her teacher. You teach me Kannada language. The young girl, granddaughter Sudha Murthy, took up the responsibility seriously and she started teaching her grandmother with a lot of sincerity. The grandmother started learning. She used to read with a lot of attention. She used to repeat. And when she used to write, she also used to revise. It means she was a woman of sincerity, lot of maturity and understanding. After months of diligence means hard work and dedication means commitment. The grandmother was successful in reading and writing. During the festival of Dashera, on the day of Saraswati Puja, which she kept as deadline, grandmother kept to Saraswati Puja as a deadline for the accomplishment of task. Which task? Task of learning to read and write. She knew it that she will be able to read by that day. That day she made the narrator, Sudha Murthy, sit on a stool, which was an elevated place, little higher place than her own place, because she wants to give her respect. She also touched the feet of her granddaughter. This was against the norms, against the culture. What is the culture? Culture is to touch the feet of elders. Young people touch the feet of elders. But here, grandmother is touching the feet of her granddaughter. Here she considers her as her teacher. And a teacher should be given respect irrespective of her age. Whatever her age is, she is a teacher and she deserves respect. She also gave a frock to her granddaughter as a gift and as a token of her love. The narrator had secretly bought the novel Kashiyatre as a gift to her grandmother. She knew that grandmother will be happy to see the novel. By that time, the story of Kashiyatre was successfully completed and the story has been published as a novel by that day. And she gave this novel as a gift to her grandmother. Grandmother proudly read the name of the novel and the publisher on her own without any problem. She could read the name of the novel and the publisher very clearly. Her grandmother, who was also her student, she passed that day with flying colors. Flying colors means with great distinction, with very good marks. कोई बहुत अच्छे से पास हो जाए उसको कहते हैं passing with flying colors. So that day grandmother passed with flying colors. Now let us quickly discuss the issues which are highlighted in the story. Most important is education. Education is important for everyone. So if you are not educated, you should make every attempt to get educated. In any age, if a person could not get education in childhood, the person should be ready to get education whenever it is provided, whenever it is possible, because it is essential and it brings independence. If you are educated, you are independent and you are confident because you can do things on your own. The grandmother, when she was not educated, when she was illiterate, she could not read the story. She has to depend on her granddaughter for knowing the story. But when she got education, she could read on her own. She was independent. And there is not any age bar for education. Person should get education at any age, whenever it is possible. Next important issue is determination. Strong willpower and diligence. Diligence means hard work, and determination, iron willpower. They are important as they can help you achieve your heart's desire in any age. You can go against the odds if you have determination and diligence. Grandmother could achieve her heart's desire even in the age of 62. Next is respect for teachers. A teacher has to be respected, whether the teacher is young or elder person, whether the teacher is male or female. Same thing was done by the grandmother. 62-year-old grandmother gave respect to her granddaughter who was only 12 years old because a teacher deserves respect. Next important theme which is highlighted is bond of love. Bond between the grandmother and her granddaughter is very strong and it is cordial, full of love. It is based on mutual respect, love and trust. They both love each other. They both trust each other and they both respect each other's desires. Grandmother knew that her granddaughter will help her and granddaughter could understand the desire, the need of her grandmother and she was ready to teach her grandmother. How beautiful is this bond? Now let us quickly discuss the important question answers. Describe how grandmother's attitude towards education changes in the story. Yes, earlier when she was a child, nobody gave importance to her education. When she grew up and got married, she started giving importance to her household chores, her children, her grandchildren, and education was ignored. But when she felt that she is dependent on others, she is helpless, and then she started understanding the importance of education and she made her granddaughter as her teacher. You can pause the video and read this answer. Discuss the theme of learning has no age limit with reference to the story. Yes, it is very clearly told in the story that for learning there should not be any age bar. A person should be ready and a person should be allowed to learn in any age. Nobody should understand that कि हम तो बहुत पढ़ लिख लिए, अब हमारी उम्र नहीं रही पढ़ने लिखने की, अभी बस बहुत हो गया. We should be ready to learn in any age. Analyze the relationship between grandmother and granddaughter. We have discussed this thing earlier also. They both understand each other. They both have love for each other, and they both have trust in each other. Grandmother understands granddaughter. Granddaughter understands the need of her grandmother. I hope you can understand. You can pause the video and note down the answer. Let us quickly discuss the character sketch of two important characters of the story. Narrator Sudha Murthy is very patient. She is responsible and caring at such a young age of only 12 years. She is patient. Patiently she teaches her grandmother. You know, teaching old people needs lot of patience. When she takes the responsibility, she completes her responsibility with a lot of commitment. She understands her grandmother's pain, and she also respects her decision of learning. She did not laugh. 60 साल की उम्र में पढ़ोगे क्या? And she took her role as a teacher very seriously, and she completed her task with a lot of sincerity and commitment. This grandmother is determined, having a lot of willpower, diligent, hardworking. She's also loving and caring. She loves her children and grandchildren. She takes care of her children and grandchildren. She finds joy in looking after them and feeding them. But she is humble. She has a strong character, but she is humble because she respects her 12 years old granddaughter as a teacher. Her willingness and eagerness to learn is commendable. It reflects her courage and open-mindedness. I hope you can understand. If you have any doubts, you can write in the comment box. Thank you. Keep learning with me. Keep watching my channel. If you like my videos, subscribe my channel. Bye bye. All the best.